And it looks like we've already started the call. Well, welcome everybody. I guess somehow the call got started as we were adjusting things. So, welcome to today's special call with Susan Taylor Shier. Um, and it's going to be always an activating conversation with Susan as we're talking about the four pillars for your prosperity. And, what are the four pillars? We're going to talk about the shift of what's holding you back from your unique soul gifts. And I know a lot of y'all have that calling. It's like, I kind of know what that gift is, and I don't know how to put it on the world, but is it really my gift, or how do I really hone in on it? And there's so much that comes from that. Um, but Susan's also going to guide us in how we can open our intuitive portal and actually keep it open. So that circuitry of intelligence that is innately ours can really be, I would call it the main guide who's helping us to create and co-create with the other guides and potentials that are showing up in our lives. So it's going to be an amazing call, y'all. We're going to get into live Q&A with Susan. There's an amazing special offer, which includes a 30-minute session with Susan, which you're not going to want to miss. Um, and if you don't know much about Susan, I can share with you that she is an extraordinary guide. She is the founder of Soul Mastery, which is a highly established, internationally acclaimed. You wrote a book about it, about soul mastery and what that means and how people can really discover how they're particularly wired according to what's written in their soul. So there's a blueprint for all of this, y'all, and Susan is truly tied into it. So, like I said earlier, it's going to be an amazing call. Um, and with that windy introduction, Susan, welcome to today's call.
Thank you, John, so much. Thank you, thank you. I'm
Mm,
glad everyone came in just as they came in because that's the nature of this year, isn't it? It
yeah.
just all came in like, oh, okay, all right, here we are.
Mm.
Boom, boom, boom. Fast energies, high stuff. We didn't wait till the spring equinox to get it together or the Chinese New Year or anything. It was just like, okay, we're on it, which is great.
No, we dropped in, and with so many things happening, and and yeah, around the world, but with so many things happening, and the way that we're attuning to different possibilities within ourselves, our connection
Yeah.
into frequencies like we've never accessed them before. Why this conversation about the four pillars for our prosperity? Why do you feel that that's so relevant right now?
Because we need, with so much changing, so much going on, so much in the outer triggering us, because it is what's, yes, we could say moving out, but at the same time, it's moving in, right? It seems to
Mm,
be in our face, not just, oh, it's transforming out and transmuting. No, it's in our faces. We need some pillars of things we can absolutely go, okay, as long as I have this, and you think of four pillars, you've got a stable foundation for your life to hold that and a home base within you and in your field so that you have what you need as we, I'm going to say, weather the storms. We don't usually talk about that languaging, with this beautiful community. And I just want to say hello to everybody in this beautiful community because you are all pillars for each other. And John's a pillar for all of us.
mm.
And all of us together are some of the greatest pillars we have. So, yeah.
Something that I do want to mention as you're talking about weathering these storms, and we're all experiencing, well, I won't say all, but so many that I come into contact with and to come onto the show are experiencing tremendous readjustments and changes in our realities in so many different ways. So there is this tempestuous energy that
Mhm.
comes up as we're navigating into new terrain, and we're witnessing a lot of the debris that's being churned up in that sea, um, as we navigate towards clearer water. So, yeah, it's turbulent. Yeah, we're going to feel some of the shaking and trembling, but there's also an opportunity to see the clear vista in the distance, is what I'm noticing also, which is
Mhm.
giving us, it's
Mhm.
inspiring us, it's providing a purpose. And for many, it's like we can feel beyond the sense of hope, almost the knowing that we're heading
Yes.
to this other place.
Yes, yes. So let me talk about the first pillar because it goes into, well, the first two pillars goes into exactly what you're talking about,
Mm,
both into water analogies, which is
amazing.
great. We love our water, don't we?
Oh yeah.
We do. So the strongest pillar, obviously, is what I call our divine channel, our intuition, our sense of knowing, our wisdom, our perspective, our larger perspective in the midst of all of this. And that's one of the things that why I'm excited about the package and what we can share today.
Mm,
And the book that I wrote is part of the package, which is called Intuitive Magic, and it's all about practical application. But your anchor is your intuitive knowing. And John knows that, right? He knows when he an intuitive knowing as an anchor is for your prosperity, your spiritual wealth, right? We all know that when we feel lined up and we're feeling that our intuition is guiding us, we feel on top of the world. We feel prosperous. We feel like we're connected to everything, everywhere, all at once, right? We just
mm.
feel that. So I want everyone to have that experience directly. Now, how do you get there is the other pillar, two of them. The second one is the being a warrior for creation. I
Ooh,
say that
tell me more.
softly
Yes.
because I don't want people to think we're going to battle with squat. Nothing we're going to battle with. A warrior for creation. So imagine I'm going to use this water analogy. For anyone who probably has not, I'm the sporty spice girl. Whitewater rafting, right? It was mild whitewater rafting, let's face it, and it was not this year. But you're going along and everything's great and it's calm and peaceful. And then the rapids come along. Isn't that what this year is about?
Mm,
Right now, there's a lot of rapids to start with. It'll smooth out, but there'll be less and less rapids that, sort of bombard us. How do you work those rapids? If you're a surfer, how do you catch the wave? You have to be a creative warrior for that moment, right? A creative warrior that says, how am I going to create in this moment? What am I going to bring in of higher wisdom and my own sense of what I want to create? Not, I just want to get rid of all the bad stuff that's going on in the world or fix it, or, when the water is peaceful again. Oh, when the water is peaceful again, I'll get back on the tube. Can't do that anymore. So we're a warrior for what we want to create. And it takes some warriorship these days for sure. So that's pillar number two. Something you want to say about that, John? I can feel you.
I can really appreciate the redefinition of the warring energy into a higher caliber of an intentional field that it holds in its potency. Because there is a tendency to want to diminish that very strong energy, that root chakra energy that facilitates in other Akashic realms, if you will, with
Yeah.
us. And
Yeah.
so to tie into the gift that it has for us, and how we can really claim its empowerment to hold a steady field is super important.
Super important. Absolutely. That universal power source that we're working with when we're doing the rapids, right? When it gets intense, we have to have more of that. That's why there's so much super energy coming in because it's
Mhm.
needed right now. But we have to be available to it. And creation is the way we're available to it. If we're in survival going, oh no, what are they going to do next? Oh my God, what's going to come down next? Oh my God, then we're in survival mode, and that's fear, and we can't hear. And I don't mean just voices telling us what to do, is having that energy of creation with us that knows to get the paddle out and which way to go and how to navigate it easily with grace. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I want to ask you, there's some people that would hesitate awakening that power within themselves for a fear that it was used against them before, that it was manipulated, or that they might manipulate and try to control of it as well. And what would you say to them?
That is not the kind of power John and I are talking about.
Mm.
That is human power, and absolutely you don't want to awaken that power anymore. We've seen it being misused all over the place. We're like, no, 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 no. So boundaries isn't just going, oh, no, 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 no to all of that. Boundaries is going, okay, that doesn't work. This does. And my connection, hear the difference. Oh, that doesn't work. No, no, no. That's the false power, right? I don't like it. Don't like it. My connection to universal power says, this is what I can create as the antidote. And peace is actually the power, but it has to be a powerful kind of peace. It says, yes, I know what is mine to create, and this is my year to do it. And I'm not going to be stopped anymore, because if I'm stopped by it, what doesn't happen on the planet? Exactly what we want, right? It's up to each of us now. It's the we the people time, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful, Susan. So are we going to go into the four pillars or are we going
Oh,
to
that's
start
two.
there?
That's two of them already. Okay, the first one is your intuitive channel, right? Divine
Mhm.
channel, all of that. The second is being a creative warrior, right? For bringing in that connection and really being there with it. The third is freedom. And you could say, what? Wait, how do you be a creative warrior and be free? Well, your free choice is your superpower. Your free
Mm.
choice is your superpower. So we have the freedom in any moment to make a choice what we're going to create, period. We know that in theory, right? So I love doing little mantras, and one of my favorite ones that's come to me recently is um, this moment is my creation. This moment is my creation. Can you feel the power and the sovereignty? It's not narcissistic at all. It's true sovereign power. This moment is my creation, which has freedom in it because I
Mm.
made the choice. I am free. I'm connected to everything everywhere. And this is the choice I'm making to bring in. That's freedom. Not
Mm.
freedom from, freedom in the moment, not to be thrown back by it. Okay? Yeah.
God, there's such a liberation
Mm-hmm.
in that because again, we're not warring against something that's oppressing us trying to be free. It's a different field of consciousness that you're inviting into with that pillar.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And one of the things that I love, the one of the another mantra that came to me about freedom is if we all remember the Harry Potter and how the professor said, just wave your magic wand and say ridiculous, right? And
Hmm.
it changed the whole trajectory of the monster became a little mouse and ran away in the movie anyway. And that's what we can do sometimes. I know that sounds sort of like superficial, but you hear something going on and you're like, oh, that's ridiculous. No, you go, ridiculous. Light. You bring in the wand of light that says, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. What my mantra is, it's my creation right now. What do I want to create right now? Right? Not in reaction, not in response. What is my creation? Now, is that called spiritual bypass? No, that's the warrior for creation that says, okay, that's a little ridiculous. Yeah, I could see that, but I'm going to create. Now, I want to answer your question too about the fear of human power. One of the things that's going on these days is a lot of PTSD at a soul level about times we've been here before, right? When things didn't go so great. We've all, because we're such high level souls, been here, Lemuria, Atlantis, during the time of what we've called the fall. When we first came in as souls to this earth, we had a whoa, Nelly kind of experience. It's like, really, that happened? So the PTS is TSD is in there that says, oh, this is where we're going. Oh no. And we just go overboard with it instead of going, right, this time we've been talking for years about how different it is. This is all new. We've never been here before. So instead of saying, oh, we've never been here before, it's just too much. It's like, no, we've never been here before. So we get to create it in a whole new way. And we know there's way more light on the planet than dark. We just got to remember that sometimes.
Yeah, well, the power of that also is that we've never been here before in the capacity that we have been here before
Mm,
either. And
mm,
so we're not
yeah,
the same as we used to be in past lifetimes. Our capacity for consciousness and holding the light has grown exponentially, comparatively speaking. And there's a trust and faith in that, that whatever karmic cycles and experiences that we've been there and done that, that we've been there and done that, and we understand our foundation in ways that we didn't previously.
right.
And I think that's why you bringing in these four pillars to really formalize that foundation of knowing our intention of the power of love that
Yes.
amplifies the pillars into new creations is an important distinction that we just have to keep reminding ourselves over and over that we're holding in completely different ways.
Yes, yes. And that's why these my guides keep giving me these sound bites. It's like, okay, just hold this. Not these long intentions and, long meditations. We don't seem to have time for that anymore. It's just
Mm,
boom. This is my pillar today. This is one of them. I'm coming through with that, and I'm going to hold that to be true and find out what happens.
mm,
And one of my favorite exercises recently has been if I get frustrated about something, I see something on the news because I'm engaged. I'm not going to sit back and go, well, when it's all over, I'll come out from under the carpet, under the covers, and go,
mm,
are we there yet? I've been holding light all this time. Are we there yet? And we can't do that anymore.
mm,
We're connected to it all. But I got, frustrated and angry. And one of the exercises that I did was, so everyone can try this. It's really fun. You could even try it right now. You get a pencil or a pen, and I know we all have at least something like that, even though we all use computers. Pencil or pen or colored um, paint, whatever, and start drawing circles with each hand like this, and just start drawing circles.
mm.
And what are you doing when you draw a circle? Can you feel that, John? You're
Oh yeah.
just creating. You're just creating. Doesn't matter what it does, where it goes, you're just creating and you're out of all of a sudden the frustration went into, oh, okay, I'm creating again. And I found myself on the path of creation. It's simple things like that that I love to bring to shift consciousness. Yeah.
Mm.
So,
So we've gone through three pillars. What's the fourth one?
fourth one is community. You, you know that one very well. We
Mm,
can't do it alone. I have so many people that will say to me, I have to have community. And I said, well, they may not be in your block, but it's here, it's everywhere. But one of the things that I love helping people with is developing connection to what I call their guidance collective. I feel like there are so many guides that we're connected to. I don't have just a few that I orient to or an archangel or something like that. I'm like, I've said this numerous times, I'm sure. Guidance collective, all right?
mm,
And feeling the spiritual wealth of that universal community and having it with us at all times is where we start to build community because we know how many people, right? How many people come to me and say, I don't want to be here anymore, or I don't feel seen or heard or understood here.
mm,
That's that feeling of isolation and aloneness. And the feeling is, gosh, I'm going to be rejected if I try bring my soul gifts and all that I have to bring. There's no place for it here.
mm,
The way you back up and go, oh, but there is a place for it in the universe, and I feel my guides are cheering me on to move this forward, it starts to build a whole different foundation within you of what's possible. And we
mm.
know that what you hold inside radiates to the outside, and all of a sudden people are going to show up going, yeah, you're awesome, or whatever it is. Yeah. Hmm.
It's so you've given us these four pillars and they're beautiful tenets. How do we maintain enough of a vibrational accord that these pillars are stable and that's something that we glimpse back and forth because again, they're great models
Hmm.
and beautiful pieces to that we want to input into the mansion that we're building in our lives, if you will.
Yes. I love
Uh,
that mansion, that word mansion.
right? Which is it's rich and we get to really decide who gets access to that mansion and how we're creating in that mansion and again those codes. But again, how is it that we can fertilize those pillars, maintain, if you will, an integrity with the structure so that we can really allow that home that we're building with it to thrive?
Hmm. Hmm. So how we do that is by holding these pieces with reverence and a sense of sacredness in the heart.
Mm,
One of the keys to intuition is bringing whatever comes to you, whether you see a unicorn and rainbows, or you feel a sense of warmth in a moment, to synchronicity, whatever it is, you bring it into your heart and go, oh, this is real.
mm,
And then as a creative warrior, you bring it into your abdomen and you go, I'm going to be pregnant with creation. I'm going to feel freedom in my body, in my abdomen, that I am free to create whatever is mine to create. So embodying them and feeling what it's like to experience all of that. And community, again, isn't just outer community. It's that feeling of, wow, I've got I got the whole world in my abdomen. Now, we may say, well, I don't want that whole world in my abdomen. The whole solar system, that's going to be better. Imagine just for a moment the whole solar system. And we're all like, oh, quantum. Oh, we love quantum physics. We love
mm,
light language. We love being in those expanded spaces, the aurora borealis. Just imagine bringing that into your abdomen for a moment and feel what it's like to let yourself be lit up from the inside, that you are a universe of stars, right? And that's going to give you that sense of home base where those pillars, the home of the mansion, makes not just sense, but is a infrastructure for your life. Yeah.
mm. That's really beautiful. It's something in what you're mentioning, that what comes up for me has been something that has been very much alive over the last few months, and that's really cultivating an awareness of what I'm devoted to.
Ah.
And that energy of devotion, am I committed to these particular foundations? Am I truly devoted to it? And as different choices come along in my day and experiences, does that align with my devotion? Am I choosing based on my past and my fear and something that I kind of had my toe dipped into or out of? Or am I truly devoted to what I'm wanting to build? And to have a devotional space for the pillars
Mm-hmm.
of the temple that you're creating in your life can have a profound effect on the intellectualization and critical choices that we make through our
Yes.
critical thinking that align with the spirit that we're seeking to be aligned with.
Yes, yes. And we all have ways to create devotion in our life, whether that means we wake up in the morning, we do qigong, or we, do one yoga pose, anything that symbolizes that ritual, that we're telling our guidance that we want this vibration of ritual that we do every day that creates devotion very specifically, that we are married to, so to speak. We have a vow of marriage to what matters to us, that we're going to hold that sacred no matter what. Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's really beautiful what you're bringing through on this. Um,
Yeah, and a
I-
reverence for it, deep devotion and reverence. Oh my
mhm.
gosh, this means everything. Yeah.
What are you noticing shifting in the people that you're working with as they're building off of these foundations and there's like a an elevated consciousness of pillars that we've held in certain ways, but that there's something more refined to work with.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's are you noticing a difference in
Yeah.
others as you guide them through this?
Lots of difference, lots of difference. I would say the basic piece that always comes for is wanted with people is safety, feeling safe
Mm,
on earth. We don't feel safe right now as a collective. People are just
yeah.
going, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? We feel overwhelmed. We don't feel safe, right? So
Mm,
to be able to bring a person home to that place of true anchored safety within their own inner field is life-changing. The other is, the whole matter of fear. What keeps us from bringing our soul gifts forward, right? We know we have visions. This is the year for our destiny. This is actually a year to manifest more prosperity than we've ever manifested.
Mm.
That's in the energy. And we're like, huh? Most people are like, how could that be? It's in complete contrast to what's going down, so to speak, right? Well, it seems to be in contrast, but it depends on what train you're on, right?
I would agree.
So what I found is that when a person gets connected to, which is what I do with people, to their soul gifts, they find that they've been afraid to bring their gifts forward. Again, this relates to
Mm.
past lives, other planets they've been to. The fear is if I bring in my greatness, I'll be destroyed, right? I'll be destroyed. And so when I'm able to help people with their fear, it's just a little thin layer. More and more, it's just a thin little layer of fear that says, I can't be all of that. Like you were saying earlier, I can't be that powerful. I can't be that special. It's a whole different kind of power. The power is just being all of you, so to speak. And I'm not going to say that because I don't want to stop there because that's like, what does that mean, being all of you, right? What
Mm.
does that mean? Part of why I got into intuition in the first place is because none of this stuff made sense. All of me, my intuitive this or whatever. It's like it doesn't make sense to me. How can it be practical? How can it be real? And I want people to have some real. Um, so that's what I do in a session with people. So safety, less fear about being in this unknown, being in this world, a greater sense of that we as a collective and I as a person can work these things out.
Mm.
Just complete trust and knowing that I have what I need and all is well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And there's another side of it, and I'm curious how it ties in together. And we're going to get into Q&A also because I want you all to experience more of Susan and one-on-one with you because again, that's part of the special offer with so much more that you'll be able to dive into there.
Yeah.
But I'm curious on how this is what you're speaking about and the aspect of safety that we're tuning into in deeper ways, and also an aspect of being receptive to so much good than we've ever experienced before. Because
Yes.
there's an alchemy that comes in there because sometimes receiving that much good is overwhelming to our system as well.
Mhm.
So I'd love it if you can address that and also tell us how it ties into our soul's blueprint and what we're
Mm.
expanding into.
Okay, great. As I was just saying, our fear of success is probably the biggest fear, right? And our fear of
Mm.
bringing in that joy because we have this collective wound of separation that says if we're that beautiful, we're that joyful, we're that lighthearted and easygoing, not just while everybody else is suffering. You talk about that all the time. I talk about that all the time. It's not just the people pleasing harmony thing. It's that feeling that we won't belong to the community of the human race. And the human race is a survival mechanism, the
Mm.
3D. And as a soul, we came here and said, yay, I have creation to bring, because this is a creator universe. I have creation to bring. And we came here and everyone went, what are you talking about? This is from many advanced souls, and those are the people I work with the most. What are you talking about? Why are we bringing in creation? We just want survival tools. And so
Mm.
the feeling was, oh my gosh, I don't belong to this human race. So the feeling is, I don't want to bring in everything I have to bring in because I will be ostracized. And that feeling of being ostracized is so deep in the psyche. That feeling of being lost and alone and no place to go. But you're going to die if you're left alone, right?
Mm.
That's the feeling. And, when we think about it, death is in there. We go, oh, so and so said something in the political climate. And we go, oh, we're all going to die. It's like, wait, nobody said that.
Right.
But that's what we have to create through and provide these pillars within ourselves that says, oh, that's silly. No, 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 no. That was an old pattern, not anymore. And we can do it like that.
Hmm.
Oh, and the blueprint, you had talked about the blueprint. Let me
Yeah,
make sure.
how do these pillars and the shifts that we're going through relate to our individual blueprints as well?
Well, we all came from other worlds before coming here, and we came with a blueprint. Not everything's all set in stone. We're going to do this, that, and the other, but a blueprint for our soul gifts and what we have to bring in our soul gifts, of our soul gifts, and a sense of destiny, a blueprint. So we want to get back to that feeling sensation of what it is to hold our soul's blueprint. And that's what I help people to do, so that you feel that so strongly as part of your pillar, that sense of reverence and devotion to your blueprint supersedes what's going on in the outer that makes you feel like um, whatever you feel, overwhelmed, what's this darkness all about, whatever it is, that feeling becomes so strong in you that I have a blueprint to bring, and this is the year for it, and I can't be stopped,
I love
even if
that.
I don't know the details, right?
It's there's an analogy, and I'm gonna get this all wrong, but it's basically with our blueprint that we've been trying, you know, we're a fish out of water living in a meadow trying to chop down trees, and that's not what our function is. But they're telling us that we have to chop down trees as fish. It's like, wait, it doesn't make sense, and I'm not good at this, and I can't do this, but you're asking me to do that, and I'm confused. What's my purpose? I'm not good enough. I can't live up to expectations. It's because we've been taken out of our element. We're really supposed to thrive.
And we're trying to live a human purpose that people
Yeah.
here will receive, right?
Mm, right.
I want to feel that what I'm bringing is of value to them. It's like, wait a minute. No, no, no. You're not doing it to be of value to them. You're feeling your inherent divine value
Mm,
connected to your community of guidance. And you bring that in and you're like, this is my spiritual wealth. This is my spiritual blueprint. And I get to bring it into every level within me. And when I do that, I'm received, not received. That's not the point. It's what fulfills me. And that's prosperity. Spiritual wealth is prosperity.
mm,
First and foremost, when you have spiritual wealth, then you know what you can do to help guide your health. You know what to do to be able to move out of your mind into more of your intuitive voice, etc. You know how to anchor your life and the feeling that you have an actual purpose, which is to bring that
mm.
blueprint. Yep.
Amazing. Y'all, Susan is the soul blueprint expert. It's like I've had friends like, "Oh my God, you're friends with Susan? I can't believe it. Can I meet her?" It's like it was a big thing, which it is. But again, the your expertise and how you trained other people in it and how you facilitate by empowering, just by get not by giving knowledge, but by empowering people
Mhm.
into their own experiences. And it's from that place that the embodiment can really take form.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Well
all right.
said, John. Well said,
It
always.
happens. It happens.
You
Um,
think he was connected,
maybe.
and he is.
Yeah, I want to get into some Q&A. A few of y'all have your hands up. We've got some questions in the chat box. We'll get into the special offer as well, and we'll continue this conversation because I just feel it evolving into other places as well.
Great.
And Marianne, I'd love for you to unmute your microphone. I want to welcome you to the show. And what is your question for Susan?
Is that me?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Hi, Susan. Hi.
Hi, Marianne.
Um, my question. Well, I feel like a lot of things are shifting inside of me, and I'm dealing with a lot of issues right now related to finances, and it's interesting the topic you're talking about is purpose, and I feel kind of lost in that.
Hmm.
And before, my purpose was looking after my dad and then my mom and my sisters, and
Ah,
died.
right. It's time for a new one, huh? Yeah.
So, and I'm also looking after my nephew and my friend right now,
Mhm.
who are close to death too.
Mm.
And it's, I feel like it's time to take care of me, because I'm
Mhm.
always taking care of other people, and kind of burnt out in doing that.
Yes, that's a good thing to be burnt out, man.
Hmm. I
Right?
love that.
Yeah, that's good. So I'm looking at the picture behind you. I don't know if you remember it, but what's behind you, but you can see that light above the mountain, and the mountain has been where you've existed, sort of in the density of helping people so that they could know love, so they could know life, so they could know it. And it's like, well, wait a minute. It's been depleting my life blood. And you call that finances, but it's spiritual wealth. So the key for you is remembering, and you do have a soul wound that's an actual fear. If I just be with me, everyone else is going to go away.
Yes, that's it.
So I'm happy to help you with it in a session because that's the feeling. Everyone will go away. I'll be alone. So I got to keep helping somebody. So I always have somebody with me. And that's a false sense of community, a false sense of freedom, so the creative warrior for you is you don't want to go, I just need to take care of me, because you don't want to be just a caretaker of you. It's not about just self love. I need to love myself more. That's not enough anymore, right? We're talking about divine love. I need to connect to the spiritual wealth of all I have to bring, and that community of guidance that makes me know I'm never alone. I am deeply honored for what I'm bringing, and be able to feel that in your bones, in your heart, right? And that's an experience. And so, again, that's why I still do sessions after over 35 years, is because it's a unique experience to be able to connect to your spirit's wealth and what will give you a sense of fulfillment, right? And which is purpose. When you feel spiritually wealthy, you feel like you have a sense of purpose. Doesn't matter what you do, but then all sorts of things start popping up for you to do, right?
What about if you have a lot of spiritual wealth, but you're not open to receiving it?
It's because I'm laughing because that's so exactly, you're right on the money, Miss Marianne. You know it's there, but you not open, you're afraid of it. You're
Hmm.
afraid, again, if I open to all of that, bad stuff will happen. I know that sounds crazy, doesn't it? But we have wounds in our soul that relate to us coming here. And so you goofed on your way here. I don't want to go into the whole story, but I can see it. You goofed on your way here and bought into something you shouldn't have. And now you're like, I don't dare go out there, because it's like the boogeyman sitting there waiting to grab it from me again. Right? So the fear is that spiritual wealth, to receive that, like John was saying earlier, it's all there, but we're afraid to bring it in
Mhm.
because it's going to be taken from us, et cetera, et cetera. Yep.
It's beautiful. And what I can offer in as far as the perception of spiritual wealth is that sometimes when our cups run so full, we think that we're at the top of the capacity. But if we just dig a little bit more, the treasures that we find of the spiritual wealth that we didn't even know was possible activates something completely in our lives. So part of, I'll call it part of the seduction of spirituality is that when we reach a certain level, we want to maintain it and think that we've got it all. And we think, oh, we're spiritual wealthy because, we got enough to pay the mortgage, we can feed ourselves. And I'm just speaking metaphorically now. It's like, I'm pretty comfortable here. I can access and I got communication with my guides. It's kind of cool. I can meditate and drop in for a little bit, and I have an awareness of different terms that other people are navigating in. But when we really open up to the next level of spiritual wealth, we really discover how innocent we have been in our ignorance of what's truly possible. And if we're finding anywhere in our lives that seems stopped, maybe we should reconsider how that bank account wants to be filled up in ways that we haven't experienced yet in that spiritual wealth. Really be innocent about what we don't know and surrender to receive that which we're already connected to, but that wants to come in a bigger way for us. And trying to stop the waterfall of illumination that's coming to, it's like putting an umbrella under a fire hose that's spraying water at you, thinking that you're not going to get wet. And it's just impossible. So opening to that divinity, we've been asking for it for a long time. It's saying that it wants to be here for us, but we're putting the brakes on. And it's time to take our foot off the brakes and just really let it take off. And because we're ready to receive it, we've acclimated these energies over the years. We have become in greater vibrational tone to be able to handle the potency that we're ready to receive. And now we have to trust ourselves on this initiatory journey that we're going to cross the threshold and really receive the mantle of the lineage that we were born into.
Ah, well said, John. And
Thank
you know, that reminds me of the whole matter of being a creative warrior for something.
you.
So we don't just say, oh, I'm just going to feel like I'm connected to spirit. I want to be a creative warrior for the more of spirit. I'm ready for it. It's more like you're going to beat the drum for it, or you're going to dance. You're going to do something that's more actively engaging and saying, I'm ready, versus, like John said, that I love the peace that I feel. You know,
Mm.
it's like, no, I want more of the creative juice that is my blueprint to bring in. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Marianne, great questions. I'd highly recommend the session with Susan. And we're going to get into the opportunity for that here in just a little bit. But before we go there, Linda,
Thank
let's
you, Marianne. Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
blessings, Marianne.
Mhm.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, John. Hi, Susan.
Hello, Linda.
It's delightful to talk to you.
Mm.
Thank you. Yeah, mine's more like frustration sometimes because I have knowledge that I can give, but it seems to run up against a brick wall sometimes.
And what do you perceive as the brick when you say against a brick wall?
Well, they're not as open to receiving it.
They are not as open.
Or maybe I'm not. I don't know.
No, I understand. So the feeling is you have so much to give, but they're not open to it. Is that what you're feeling?
Mm.
Okay.
Correct. Yes.
All right. So you want to get off the give and take wheel, right? That's where you're at. It's like I have so much to give and I have so much to receive. That's actually 3D, so to speak. I don't usually use that terminology.
Mm.
Giving and receiving love, right? That's giving and receiving purpose. When you feel like you are filled to overflowing, and like John was saying, it's just so big that your cup is running over, and then you go, and then there must be more, right? And that's what I want you doing, is going, oh, there's so much more for me to just experience. And I'm a magnet and it will draw things to me, but there's so many dimensions of me I haven't experienced yet. And at one level, it doesn't matter, right? Whether they receive it or not. Who is the they that seems to have the upper hand in your field? Do you see what I mean? We all know, any of us who've done anything worthwhile, we had to go on a wing and a prayer. It wasn't like, well, if they receive us, then it'll be worthwhile. It's like, no, I have to do this. That's that creative warrior again. I'm going to keep using that term so you get it in your brain, how important it is to just go, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do it on the sidewalk when I'm doing, when I'm walking, when I'm going in the grocery store. I have to be on my soul path. It's not just, well, I'm going to give this little thing to this person. Are they available to it? It's really good. Okay, it's a way of being. It's a blueprint. Does that help, Linda?
Yes. Thank you.
Great.
Thanks,
Yeah,
John.
you're available to that. You are. Yeah. Yeah.
What I'm feeling for Linda also, Susan. Do you tune into timing and divine timing and right timing. Sometimes we're so ready for it that like, come on, get here. But there's also something,
Mm,
maybe even as we attune to the pillars that you're teaching us about, that when there's an opportunity to anchor that in more deeply, that it ripples out and it creates again what we would call the right time for these creations to start to unfold in the way that we hoped, or even better than what we hoped.
yes, well said. And that reminds me too, frustration, below the deeper level of frustration is power. When we get frustrated and we don't act on that creative, oh, I want this, right? That's abdominal, power, right? If we don't let it become a true kind of creative power, it becomes hopeless and helpless. It just
Mm.
flattens. It goes to nothing, right? So when you feel frustrated, that's your energy body just going, okay, wants to move here. So I'm going to let it just keep building, like John said, building and building in me, and not be afraid of my divine power source.
Mm.
Let it really build in me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Love this. Susan, can you do me
Thank
a
you.
favor? Will you check your volume settings? I'm getting messages that some people are having. I'm
Oh,
hearing you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
That my volume
Thank you,
has
Linda.
been okay. Mac Mini.
Are
Let me
y'all
just.
hearing Linda okay? Those who are on video? I'm sorry, not Linda, Susan. Excuse me. Linda just hung up. Y'all are hearing Susan okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great, great.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
It's maybe on some different systems it's not working. So we'll try to
Okay.
adjust as best we can the volume, y'all. And let's continue, Susan. I want to get to
Thank you.
special offer in just a little bit, but I'm guided to take another caller first. So let's go there. Deborah, let's go to you. Welcome to the call. And we're going to take more live Q&A, y'all. So y'all hang out, be patient, raise your hands,
Yeah.
because I want to dive into this experience with Susan so that you can get a little taste of what you're going to get into a deeper session when you sign up for the special offer. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, John. Hi, Susan. So nice
Hello,
to be here.
Deborah.
Such a privilege.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, when the first person, just a minute, I've got, my husband's listening and I'm trying to, you need to go to the other room. An echo. He was listening. I said, oh, this is financial pillars here. You want to listen tonight? So anyway,
Right, because I mentioned the word prosperity. Yeah.
yeah, well,
Which
yeah,
does relate to
I said my
finances
word
for sure.
financial at the beginning.
Yep.
Okay. It is prosperity, and I love your take on the spiritual prosperity.
Yeah.
And I think it was the purpose the first person asked that I thought, oh yes, I always feel like I get dumped on my purpose. But the creative warrior um, might be a little locked up in me, but I'm feel like I've been really working on my intuitive for the last 3 months. Well, kind of ever since I found John. And John
Mm.
just showed up in my email one day, and I thought, the universe is answering my prayers. And that's what it's been ever since. And yes, it's been the deep dive, and that's maybe been 2.5 months or so. John, thank you so much. I so appreciate your work and your giving to the universe, to all of us. And Susan, yeah, so that's kind of my question, just confused about my purpose. And I think I connect with the universe is out there and receiving me, but I don't have a circle, a community that's receiving me currently, other than the universe. Does that make sense?
Yes, of course, of course. And so you're in this community and you have that larger energetic community,
Yeah.
but there's something in you wanting a community that will receive you. Is that right?
I think that's it.
And
Yes.
when you say receive you, what do you want them to receive? Do you have wisdom? Do you have a business plan? Do you, you're a veterinarian? What do you mean they don't receive me? I don't have a community that
I
receives me.
I think some of it is I am truly evolving so much that the grid that I was once in doesn't
So you're,
have
yeah,
space
you're
for who I
recreating
am right
yourself.
now. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you're recreating yourself, which is a beautiful time for that, for sure. You're
yeah.
recreating. So, um, I feel as though there's some self-judgment about what you're supposed to be doing in contribution. We talk all the time about contribution. We're supposed to be a big contribution, our contribution here gets tied up with purpose.
Mhm.
But your purpose is going to keep evolving through your life. You're one of those souls that's just like, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to create in this way, and then I'm going to create in this way. And yes, it does mean you keep going into different pockets of the world and what you're interested in and who is going to be with you for that. So just be a little more fluid about, I can't wait to see who's going to show up to create with me in the new level I'm creating.
Oh, that
Okay?
you've landed it right there. Thank
Good,
you. That
good,
really,
yeah.
really hits my heart, and I can send that down into my belly. Yeah, that's energy.
Yes, exactly. Because you, again, you're a very vast soul and you want even more vastness. I can help you get connected in a session to much more of the vastness that you are without thinking, well, that's going to alienate me from people.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is probably, yeah, that's a big thing. I
Mhm.
guess it's a fear probably of mine, or
Oh, yeah.
something that slows
They're
me
all,
down. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Susan.
You're
Thank you,
welcome,
Dawn,
Deborah.
for
Thank you,
who you are
Deborah. Good
in
to
my
see you.
life.
Yeah, great to be
Thank
with
you,
you.
love. Oh, wonderful. Okay, all right, y'all. We're going to get into the special offer here. I'm going to ask Susan a question as y'all open up the special offer page. The link, there it is. The link's popped into the chat box. It's highlighted in blue if you'll click on that. If you're watching on the Beyond the Ordinary page, you'll see the special offer button. You can just click on that as well. If you're listening to the replay on YouTube, the link will be in the comments section. You can click there. You can still take advantage of Susan's special offer, even if you're not on live. And we always have all our special offers listed on beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. You can always go to the marketplace and find these incredible offers from these amazing guests that we have on the show. Before we dive into the special offer, Susan, I want to ask what your experience is with a desire of the linear mind with linear timing wanting to create at this moment, and a fluidity that you spoke about earlier in the field that's saying, let us bring you the opportunity, don't go chasing it in the old ways that you used to. There's something in that creative weaving that's happening between spirit and the new realities that we're tapping into through the power of connection and synchronization.
Nice, nice. Great question. Okay. Imagine that we're all very good at intentions. We know what we want. We're getting way better at that. Not just what we don't want, what we want. I can see it, I can taste it, I can smell it. We've learned those things. And it's not here. What's up with that? What am
Right.
I doing wrong still?
Mm.
And is it divine timing? Maybe, but that can be very frustrating to feel like we have nothing to do with it. It's up to the universe, so we'll let it come in. Now, we absolutely have to be in co-creation with the universe for anything of vital importance that we truly value to come in, right? It's a co-creation. At the same time, we have to develop this deeper value, deeper power, deeper sense of you're creating it whether that thing happens or not. Now that sounds weird. Um, John, give me an example. Would it be like money, relationship? What else? What would be an example so I can go into it a little bit
Let's
more
let's
deeply?
go let's go into relationship.
Okay,
I'll,
great.
I'll give you a personal example.
Great.
My birthday just passed us last week, and for the last month and a half, I typically go through, well, I'm traveling somewhere, like spirit's taking me to a sacred spot or to another location, or there's some plan that's already unraveling, and I can't believe that I don't have any plans a week and a half out for my birthday. And just sitting in the, well, that's odd. But also it's like, you know what? If I get guided somewhere at the last minute, That's amazing. If I'm at home by myself watching Netflix or a movie because it's pouring outside and I can't even go hiking, that's perfect also. There's like a surrender into what wanted to be creation, not requiring me to push or pull so hard, but to be in the flow and
Mhm.
my releasing a perceived outcome to relieve a mental picture of what I was used to in comfort or experiences, for me allowed an experience to come in that I couldn't have planned in the way that I typically did. And so again, there's like a fluidity of energies that wants to be in co-creation with us, where we're not always guiding and directing in a very masculine way the output so that we can get something back in return. It comes without expectation, I would guess.
And that's the key, that we're wanting something in return. There's a secondary gain. There's this agenda we have.
Right.
And we could say, oh, well, no, I know my life is beautiful, but I really want this thing. I want you to want things. We're grand creators. We're constantly creating, constantly creating. But you keep that constant creation field alive and well for it to drop into. Like John said, maybe it's Netflix I'm going to create, but I'm going to keep creating. I'm not just going to sit and moan and go, it's raining, there's nothing I can do. This birthday is a wash. No, we go,
Mhm.
okay, I am going to create. This is the birth of me in a way that I've never known before. And I happen to know what he did do on his birthday. Not that I have the secret knowledge, but it's not for me to talk about it. Um, but just it keeps us open to that feeling of I'm just going to keep creation going in my life, and I can't wait to see what's going to come down the pike. Or not even saying that, you're just going to say I'm going to keep creation going, and I know birthing is happening, and it will birth anything that we want. And it's always a fun surprise, isn't it? Finances for sure. How many of us have stories of going, oh my gosh, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have enough. And we go, no, no, no,
Yeah.
look at my, no, no, no. And we sit there in mumble land and nothing can come in on the vibration of mumble. Now we say, well, we don't need to be in lack. We know better than that, but we just sort of mumble and grumble and go, I don't know. What I want to create is this, but that's a mental idea. So be in that spiritual wealth, prosperity place. And it's more than just feeling abundant and grateful, okay? It's feeling alive, because true power and prosperity together are success and aliveness. I want to successfully be alive in this moment. And then the universe goes, whoa, have I got a palette to work with you? Because you're successfully alive and finding ways to be successfully alive. Yeah.
Mm.
Cool.
Amazing. Deborah, thank you for inspiring that question and allowing
Yeah.
me to bring this in. Um, and with that, Susan, as you've taken a breath, we got us into the special offer. Got us in, again, you've packed this with so much. But I love it. I love it if we start with the 30-minute session. What will people
Yeah.
receive? Where can they go into that 30-minute session? And also I'd love it, maybe some examples of how this time with you has illuminated so many ahas for people that you've worked with in the past in these sessions. I know it has for me. Um,
Um, Thank you, John. So what you just said about taking a breath reminds me of another little exercise that you can do.
mm,
Years of wisdom, you come up with these little short things. So
yeah.
you're gonna you're gonna breathe out overwhelm. Just let yourself just breathe out overwhelm. And anything that's not feeling full and free and alive is overwhelm, pretty much, or fear. They go together. Breathe out overwhelm. Breathe in, I am safe in the unknown. I am safe in the unknown. I am safe in the unknown. And I can breathe out the overwhelm of not knowing, right? A lot of overwhelm is out of control, not knowing, etc. Okay, great. So I looked at this package this afternoon and went, I want that package. It was so
Nice.
fun. I'm like, could somebody give me me that package and I'll pretend I'm not me. And they just let me have a session like that. Okay, great. That's why I'm teaching people how to do this so they can give me a session so I don't have to do a session for myself all the time. Okay. The first part of the session is releasing the core block, soul level block to your prosperity. Okay. Remember, prosperity is true aliveness, spiritual wealth, which creates spiritual health, and mental health, emotional health, every relationship health, financial health. That's prosperity. You can look it up in Google. Okay. To connect directly with your spirit team. I call it a guidance collective, your unique spirit team, which is always expanding. And when we do a session, you give yourself permission, like John was talking about earlier, to expand into new realms of who you and your blueprint are and what you have to bring. So your spirit team is specifically going to be working with you for prosperity right now in this year. That's what they want for you. Okay.
Mm.
All right. In the way you want prosperity. And it's going to open up your divine intuitive wisdom. Let me talk about how important divine intuitive wisdom is right now, right? When we're being bombarded by so much changing and transmuting, we get lost. We know what's not true. I mean, we're not stupid, right? we see the stupidity that's going on in the world to many degrees, but we get triggered sometime like, really? Now that's stupid. Okay. But we don't know how to get to that place of divine intuitive wisdom that knows how to have an overview, the bigger picture, have guidance for the bigger picture of what it is that's not working for you. We need that bigger picture guidance. And in a session, I'll go into more about the special offer. In a session, you will get what's unique for you, your soul, and your soul blueprint at this moment in time. And because I work with the Akashic Records, we're talking about the Akashic Records of your soul and the wisdom for your soul right now and for what is important for you moving forward, right? What's important for you moving forward. So you get some of the Akashic Records from the past coming in and helping you out and clearing the piece that's in the way, the fear for the most part. And then we get to open the path and flood it with divine wisdom. Okay. So that is that piece, which I love. And I want to bring up a particular phrase. I want to make sure I say it. Oh, yeah. Intuitive guidance is our Creator's gift to us. Intuitive guidance is our Creator's gift to us. If you see it as a gift versus something I got to achieve, right? I got to get intuitive because everybody's intuitive and they're so cool and I wish I was, and I can read for other people, but I can't read for myself. I'm just blocked. You're wanting to receive the intuitive wisdom, the gift of intuitive wisdom that is already with you. Real quickly, my little story. I was numb and dumb as a kid, wasn't psychic when I grew up at all. And along the way, John knows this story. I've said it probably before, I'm sure at least once. But it's to help you understand that just because you weren't doing light language at age 2 doesn't mean you can't have it, right?
Right.
So I started asking my guides, hey, you dudes, come on, I want to be more intuitive. So they gave me practices, all sorts of things to learn how to trust my intuition and know it deeply. So shall I go to the second part of the
Please, yeah.
Oh, except you wanted to have examples. Oh my God. 30 years of examples. I am so not I'm not a storyteller and I never remember these things, but I can remember one that somebody I can remember the one I did today. No. Someone was saying that we did a session. It was a 30-minute session and she'd had trouble sleeping forever.
Mm.
Forever. And it was done. It was all done, that lack of sleep. And another person said, I've had difficulty with my sister my whole life, and it was done. Was it, just repeating Ho'oponopono? No, it was whatever it was that was blocking that dimension of love and connection that they held together. Because we look at their souls together, for instance, it was done.
Hmm.
So I like to have things be done so we can get on with life, right?
Thank you. Yes.
So that's what I do. Okay. And I empower you. That's the key. I empower you. I don't just go, I'm going to clear that block and I'm going to give you what you need. It's like, no, you're going to get what you need from your guidance so you can hold it sacred with that sense of devotion.
Hmm.
Okay. Yep. Beautiful word. Okay. Then we have 4 recordings from an intuitive mastery immersion that I did not that long, just recently, because I have a new book called Intuitive Magic. You'll see that in there. You get the whole book. You get the whole book.
Hmm.
And the 4 sessions that I did after the book came out, um, to allow people to experience the practices that I give. So some of the great practices are things like knowing the difference between your intuitive voice and your mental voice. That is the biggest kicker for everybody. I don't know what to trust, right? So in this immersion, you get all these practices to practice over and over again, trusting your intuitive voice, knowing it, how it comes out for you. Everybody's different, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, I want to hear my guides." It's like, maybe you will, and sometimes you'll get it in different ways. Practicing the different ways you can get your guidance. So the whole range is available to you, right? All the ways that spirit wants to communicate with you. You'll know how to make decisions. Yay! Finally. And these are proven tools that I've been working with for a long time, and I finally put it into a book, and it's taken it to another level to be able to know and have choices. What do you do when you get to that fork in the road, that Robert Frost poem? Two rivers emerged in a wood. No, 2 paths emerged in the wood, and I knew which one to take because I knew how to listen to my guidance. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's those kinds of things. And you're going to develop a level of communion with your guidance that's like none other, a sacred communion. Isn't that what you want?
Hmm.
Holy, devotional, sacred communion with your guidance. That's what you'll get in this package with the immersion. We do that over and over again. You haven't heard that part of me today as much because you just haven't. But I have this sacred place of being able to take you to deep, holy places, holy temples within you and in the vastness of who you are so that you can experience all of that. And
Hmm.
that's part of it as well. So you really commune with those places. Okay. Your superpower for prosperity, right? Is your intuition. That is your main pillar. It's your superpower for prosperity because when you feel connected, when you're bringing wisdom through, even for a moment, you're like, man, I'm good, right? The feeling is you have value. That is your greatest gift and value is that connection. Okay. Then lots of real practices. I'm scrolling down. I think I need to go through this again for myself, like I said. So I can listen to that person named Susan do this for me, my
There's
personality.
so much that you've included in the special offer. I mean,
I know. I'm
real,
rolling through it. I'm like, where do we go from here? True
well,
blueprint,
you have your
healing
inner
the body.
guidance. You also have your intuitive magic, the practical guidance to awaken your soul's
Yes.
gift.
I'm getting there. That is the ebook. I haven't even gotten there yet. Hold on.
I know.
Scrolling down. Item 3, Intuitive Magic, Practical Guidance to Awaken Your Soul's Gifts. It's not a little ebook. I think it's almost 200-page ebook with all the practices in them. Okay?
Hmm.
Yeah. Culmination of years of insight and divine perception, for sure. From my guidance collective that keeps getting better and better and bigger and greater all the time. So you get that as well. Yep. Okay. And then we have a little bonus. Are we ready for the bonus yet, John? Have I said I just love this package and I'm so excited about it. And I really appreciate John letting me come on and be with this community to share it because you all want this. I know you all want a greater divine connection or you wouldn't be here. You all want to create more in your lives and contribute more in your lives and know how to do all of that and bring your soul forward in ways you've never done before. This is your year, and I know
Hmm.
how to help you do that. Okay, then the icing on the cake. Woohoo! I do Soul Radiance retreats. This is number 14. And last year we went to, and this year we're doing it again, Grand Cayman Island.
Hmm.
Grand Cayman Island. It's really not that far away, actually. And this is a discount, a $300 discount for the retreat. The dates are April 20th to the 26th. 6 days in inner and outer paradise. So it's like a spiritual, as we know, spiritual vacation, vacation with purpose, that sense of connecting with soul family and community, and that sense of being all the abundance of you. When you're in an outer paradise, things come forth in you. It's like John being in Egypt. He went, or in the water, we know when we're in the ocean, things come out in us that wouldn't otherwise, right? And that's why I love water as well. Man, what an embrace of devotion and what an embrace of enlivening that comes forward when we're in these kinds of settings. So it will change the whole trajectory of your life. And that's exactly why I do them
Hmm.
in-person retreats. So your whole life trajectory. And if you were to go to the website, I'm sure I have it there, soulradianceretreats.net, you will see tons of, well, maybe it's not written on there. Anyway, soulradianceretreats.net. Forgot to put that in. Or you go to my website, soulmastery.net, if you want to see lots of testimonials about the retreat. Okay.
Hmm.
So you can see what the heck could possibly happen. And it's overwhelming for people. It's just in a beautiful, beautiful way. Very, very sacred. And at the same time, a heck of a lot of fun. Yeah.
So there's a lot in the special offer to consider.
Yes.
You'll have the 30-minute session with Susan that's going to really take you into really releasing core blocks to your prosperity, or like really tuning in. And there's a guidance into a remembrance, into the Akashic, igniting the memory of what your unique blueprint is activated and particularly wired for. And that in by itself is profound. So to know your genuine partnership with spirits and to master
Your
your
soul
internal
gifts.
perception. Your
Yeah.
soul gifts,
Sorry, I
totally.
didn't mean to cut you off, but just this, your soul gifts. Everyone wants to know, what are my soul gifts? What's my soul purpose? We answer that very quickly. Very
Yeah,
quickly.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so again, the 30 minutes alone is a special offer. But then you've got a 24-day immersion. It's MP3s for 90-minute sessions that you get right away because they're recorded. And you go into the intuitive mastery immersion training sessions. And you can read through that, what that entails. I'm just giving a brief breakdown because, again, we covered so much here. And there's so much to read in the synopsis of what Susan put together so you can really understand what you'll be receiving in value from those MP3s as well. The intuitive magic practical guidance to awaken your soul's gifts of all these jam-packed nuggets and gems of techniques, insights, tools that Susan has accumulated over the year there for your disposal, and mantras that can be so powerful as a technology to really help you maintain a vibrational accord, activate something that you're ready to activate, and also not be in resonance with those things that you're complete with so that you can step into the freedom as one of the pillars
Mm-hmm.
that is activating for you in the process. And then, of course, the bonus, if you're interested in traveling with Susan on this beautiful soul journey to the Grand Cayman, that's $300 off, um, which is, of course, more off than the price of the package. Plus, you get a 30-minute reading. So it's
Good
it's an
point.
immense package, extremely generous, and I hope you all take advantage of it and drop in with Susan. So, Susan, thank you for putting that together. This is
Oh, my pleasure, my
um,
privilege, honor for sure. Thank you so much, dear community. Dear community. Yeah.
And with that, Susan, let's open up to a little more Q&A if you're down for it or up for it.
Sure. Sure. Up, down, all around for it. Yeah.
Up, down, all around. Christine, let's go up, down, and all around with you. Welcome to the call. And Christine, can I ask you to unmute your microphone, please? Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Christine.
So I seem to be carrying with me some deeper wound that I feel more in my kind of heart and nervous system. And I am wondering, maybe how that's affecting me, or is that something that I can kind of not keep feeling into?
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because just so everyone knows, when I'm reading a person, I'm looking at your soul and your Akashic records. So what it's doing is putting this injury in your heart, so to speak, is putting you on fight or flight all the time. Fight or flight, fight or flight. And your nervous system is just, it's like on autopilot, fight or flight, fight or flight. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to trust. I don't know where it's safe. It really comes back to a sense of safety. But because it's so ingrained in you at a soul level, it's like, well, I'm sure you've tried a zillion things to calm your nervous system, but when there's a soul level challenge that's trying to keep you alive, so to speak, if you know what I mean, it's a false aliveness, but it's trying to keep you alive by going whoop whoop whoop, what all the time. Ah, the body never has a chance to just come to rest and hold that anchor. So, what I'd love to do in a session is help you to connect with the true nature of your soul before it took on this fear pattern of fight or flight. Uh, So you understand not so much why it did that, but what happened so it could be opened up again. So you go, oh, okay, I can let that go now. And it's not about just letting it go, it's about being able to feel what will heal your body. And you will have as an anchor in your body any moment to say, we have this now. This is here now. We don't have to do the old pattern. This is here now. Does that resonate for you?
Yeah, I just have this question: is that related to the grief, or is that a separate issue?
The grief, oh, yes, no, it's related to the grief. The grief of having lost connection to what truly feeds your heart and allows you to feel that deep universal peace that you long for, right? Yeah. So the grief is
Yeah.
like, I don't get to have it. Why don't I get to have it? It's so, what have I done wrong will come up, all those things. It's just that deep grief of not being able to have that connection. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you bring that back into like feeling what,
Feeling, so
like the
you know it
truth.
in yourself. That's the empowerment John was talking about.
Mhm.
You know what that feels like to have that and be able to train your body that it's real and true and this is what matters.
Mm.
That's the
And
important
what
piece.
package would help me with that?
There's only one.
Okay.
Yep, only one. It makes it much
Okay.
easier. Yep. So
Okay. Thank
pick
you.
package A through Z and it'll be yours. Great. I look forward to
Okay.
being with you, Christine. Absolutely. I love helping with that one because it can be brutal and you don't know anything else. It's just, you've tried so many things, right? And what's going to help it just to stop that fight or flight that it's like, there's nothing going on in my world right now. I'm fine. Why is this going on? Right? Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I think the offer is fantastic for it also. And going back to the core of our conversation, fertilizing these pillars that Susan guided us through the beginning of the call, and then the choice of what am I in devotion to? Am I going to be in devotion to the anxiety and the fear as it keeps coming up and I notice it? Or am I going to turn my attention and awaken that soul blueprint that's alive in me and really focus more and more of my energy as much as I can remember during the day, but making a practice to be in devotion of what you're amplifying in each of those pillars. And I I know that in a short amount of time through flexing and practicing with that muscle, that the focus from the triggers that come through the fight or flight mechanisms start shifting where the waves of the consciousness start feeding more what you're building than that which is deteriorating in your field because you can't land in a stable place. And so you are the one that is empowering yourself to have your vessel navigating in stiller waters and connecting from a place of balance rather than being rocked by circumstances that were really given to you rather than they were yours to begin with. And so it's you calling
Yeah,
yourself back
yeah.
home, you going back into the strength of your unique soul blueprint. And it's empowering. It seems like it could be hard or difficult or may take a long time to do it. Um, Not with the energies that we're navigating and the consciousness that we're doing it with. It's really, I'm finding it more and more that it becomes a choice rather than a difficult journey.
And can I add one other piece? That's
You
great.
can add 100 other things.
No,
Yes.
it came up when you were talking, something came to me. So many people will say something like, well, I want to know love. I want to know peace. I want to know source. I want to know passion. I don't know what that looks or feels like. So it becomes an idea. Okay, I'm going to connect to love. And it's like, what's that? Right? Mm-hmm. So that's again why I still do private sessions. So you can have the direct experience of that vibration, not just a vibration, I'm going to cancel that, that energy of knowing and emotional impact to fill your heart with what love really feels like. You
Mhm.
have to have the antidote. You can't just say, I'm going to clear out the fight or flight and I'm going to focus on love and I'm going to love myself. You've done all that. It's like, no, I want to know what does love feel like when it's in my body and here for me, and how do I give that to my body in a way that is divine love and not just self-love, right? Yep,
Mm.
so many people have that problem, which is one thing I love doing is like, let's get you connected to what prosperity feels like for you, spiritual wealth feels like for you, love feels like for you, power, true universal power feels like for you. So you can hold it in your body and it can be your creative choice. Yeah.
Beautiful. Christine,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thanks for coming
Christine.
in and blessings to you as you experience more of you. Yes. Um, Susan, it's as we're wrapping up today's call. I wish I can get to all of y'all, but we're running already at the top of the hour, at the top of the 90 minutes. I'm now want to honor everybody's time and Susan's. I'd love it if you give us a recap of the four pillars
Yeah.
and again, what we can do to sustain it and what do you see as activating for us personally, but in the collective as well as we fertilize these core foundations.
Oh, great. Love that. Okay. I would say that the first foundation pillar, remember it's for your prosperity, relates to this divine anchor, this devotion to the divine, and your capacity to keep expanding into it and allowing it to come alive more and more all the time, to know that there's more and more, and your receptivity to these energies. And it's not just a concept, it's like, I'm going to sit here for the next hour until I receive. I don't want you to have to work that hard, but you know what I mean? I'm going to do
Right.
this because it matters to me. That's being a creative warrior, which is number two, which I think of as number one for this year, actually, because we've
Mm,
been talking about the others for a while, but being a creative warrior for your destiny, your purpose, your life, the life of this planet, right?
mm,
We talk about earth changes, we talk about new earth, we talk about what's it called? Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word of it. Climate change, all those kinds of things. And some of you may go, well, I'm not really so concerned about the planet. I'm just trying to stay alive, right? But for the sake of keeping life moving through you so you can fulfill what you came for. Your soul came to be a fulfillment of life and to be a creative warrior for your life moving forward. In any moment when you start getting overwhelmed or whatever, I'm going to be a creative warrior. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I'm going to be a creative warrior for life
mm,
itself. Okay? And then the third one is freedom. Your choice is your superpower. I always have a choice. I always can be free. There are infinite possibilities to create, but the key is my choice is the superpower, and I can just flip. And often, what you can do is just you're standing there and you're in just dire straits or whatever it is, you take a step to the right. It's amazing. It's an old psychological thing we used to do. You step to the right and you go, okay, new moment. What am I going to create now? I am free from that pattern. Try it on. It's really fun. It's
Mm,
really fun. You can just shift by doing that, getting on a different train. And the fourth one is community.
mm,
Loving that you are not alone. You are part of the community of spirit, and it is providing everything for you. You're always taken care of. How many people don't feel they're taken care of in this world? Well, that's why I love bringing in that divine channel for you so you can feel so embraced, so honored, so held, so respected for what you value. Because what you value can never be taken from you. There's a feeling that lots of stuff is being stripped down, taken, it's like free willy, we can take whatever we, oh no, nobody can take what you value.
mm.
Nobody can take what you truly value. And that's a true pillar of, we'll call that freedom. Okay, that one goes into the freedom compartment. But community, loving that you are part of something larger that honors everything that you value.
Beautiful.
Is
Thank you
that
for
it?
that recap.
Was there something
And
else I was supposed to?
no, that's
Okay,
beautiful.
good.
It's such a bow tie on the gift of today.
Yay.
And all that's been shared. And again, these pillars,
Mhm.
y'all, they're foundational and so beautiful. And allow Susan to guide you deeper into it. There's an opportunity again for a one-on-one, really getting into your unique makeup and blueprints and wiring to really help you ignite the deeper listening, the clarity of consciousness, and again, the fertilization of this amplification that you're tuning into. Um, and then the additional courses on there that go deeper, the discounts on the retreat. Again, so much to work with and to receive from Susan on here. So I hope you all take advantage of it. Again, the link for the special offers in the chat box. Click it on the webpage. You can go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace and find Susan's picture on there as well. And go deeper with Susan
Yeah,
in the special
be
offer.
the
So
best year of your life. That's what we want. Why not? Why
amazing.
not? Right, John? We know it
That's
is.
right. Deb, thank you. Yes, bow tie on the gift of today. Absolutely. Susan, it's always wonderful having you on here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John, so much. And thank you to this beautiful community and all you share in reverence and devotion for all that matters to us, that truly matters. We are making a huge difference. Never, ever, ever forget that. Huge,
Yes, we are.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And I bow in appreciation of all of you on the live call, listening on the replays. Thank you for joining this community of warrior hearts in the most amplified way. It's an honor to be here with you, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next call. Have a great evening.